The recent Beijing military parade featured a shocking 20 seconds that has captured global attention. Despite the Chinese authorities' relentless efforts to censor the footage within the country, the fallout from this moment continues to resonate both in China and internationally. Before the parade began, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin had a private conversation while walking, discussing how to achieve immortality. This chilling 20-second exchange was deleted in China, and the Chinese Communist Party is doing everything it can to remove videos overseas. However, footage of the conversation is still available in live broadcasts from Japanese media and the BBC. This exchange between Xi Jinping and Putin reveals their shared concerns, especially given the rumors surrounding Xi's stroke and Putin's deteriorating health. The topic of immortality seems to reflect their true anxieties. However, ordinary Chinese citizens are unlikely to find much joy in Xi Jinping's comment about living to 150 years old. Not only does it have no relevance to their lives, but many are likely starting to worry for themselves and their families. While these leaders eagerly discuss immortality, their citizens' life expectancies don't seem promising. According to Russian data, the average life expectancy for men in 2024 is 67 to 68 years, and for women it's around 79. However, this life expectancy figure is based on hypothetical data. It predicts how long people born in 2024 would live, based on the death rates for that year. A more objective figure would be the average age of those who die within a given year, but this data is not published for either country. Even with these assumptions, Russian men are facing a tragic fate. Their retirement age has been pushed back to 65, but most of them will only collect pensions for 2 to 3 years before passing away. Consequently, most are unable to recover the Social Security contributions they've paid over the years. Official reports claim that Chinese men's average life expectancy in 2024 is over 75 years, and for women, it's 80. However, rumors suggest that in recent years, most Chinese men don't live past 70, with many young people passing away unexpectedly. If we average the figures, the real numbers are likely even more alarming. Currently, the retirement age for Chinese men has been pushed to 63. In reality, most Chinese men will never live long enough to recoup their Social Security contributions, assuming the pension system is still intact in a few years. China's life expectancy data is based on assumptions, while North Korea doesn't even release such figures. Yet, North Korea is the most active when it comes to military parades, with Kim Jong-un ordering them whenever he feels upset. Now, the so-called axis of evil has come together. People suddenly realize that in countries where men suffer the most, the leaders are most fond of military parades, with each one grander than the last, and their marching more precise. During this parade, Putin, Xi, and Kim openly discussed the use of human organs, shocking the world. But the backlash followed soon after. On September 4th, ex-user Xianyun reported that their 22-year-old cousin had suddenly gone missing. Despite efforts such as filing a police report, posting missing person notices, and searching online, all attempts have been in vain. Over the years, the user's aunt has been crying endlessly, and whenever something joyful happens, she softly tells the user, "If only your cousin were here." Her tears flow again as soon as she finishes speaking. The user went on to say, "I never dared to tell her about organ harvesting, because I wasn't 100% sure myself. I would rather not believe in such inhumane practices, but yesterday I had no choice but to believe it." The user also commented, "Urging the police to investigate is like daydreaming. They won't care about this kind of thing. There are so many missing people every year that they've grown used to it." On September 6th, Xiaoyun posted a video to X revealing that on April 20th, in Shandong, a mother reported that her son, Li Jialong, a student at Liaocheng University Dongchang College, went missing on January 2nd. Despite efforts to find him, including filing a police report and posting notices online, he has not been located. When the parents went to the school to search for their son, they were even chased away by security guards wielding sticks. Several comments were left in response. "Well, I believe it now. Yesterday, someone said people could live to 150. Then there has to be organ harvesting going on. Didn't the elementary school kids and Putin discuss this topic during this fascist event? As long as the CCP is in power, more people will be harvested, and more will be used as cannon fodder. Chinese people, wake up." Other users shared stories of missing relatives. "My brother, a former military police officer, disappeared while on a work trip. We haven't heard from him in years. My cousin is the same. It's totally heartbreaking. He was only 20 years old. My nephew, and also the husband of my classmate's niece, they went missing while going to work." Ex-user Qing Yunli shared, "A friend of mine who practices a certain form of Qigong, referring to Falun Gong, told me she once had her blood forcibly taken in prison. Later, she disappeared. She was so young. I didn't believe it at first, but later, after hearing people who work in government agencies discuss it, I started to understand. After reading 9 commentaries on the Communist Party, I realized that this evil organization has been systematically destroying the bodies and spirits of Chinese people, and I understood the importance of withdrawing from the party. It means publicly stating that its evil deeds are not associated with me, and that I'm not part of it. Blogger Jiangnan Chahua commented, I used to think that the claims about organ harvesting by Falun Gong practitioners were exaggerated and a form of propaganda. But one time, while visiting a park with my kids and classmates, a Chinese mother shared that her aunt in China had just had a kidney transplant. She said it was very cheap, costing only 100,000 RMB. She didn't know where the kidney came from, but it was arranged by the hospital. That mother sighed. If you hadn't experienced it, you wouldn't know. Everything Falun Gong practitioners said was true. The backlash over a 20-second chilling conversation was far greater than the CCP had anticipated, forcing them to temporarily retract their bold stance and begin damage control. On September 6, Reuters reported that Chinese state-run broadcaster CCTV demanded the removal of a 4-minute video and revoked the license to use the footage in which Putin and Xi Jinping discussed organ transplants, immortality, and where Xi claimed that humans could live to 150 in this century. Reuters initially edited the conversation into a 4-minute video and distributed it to over 1,000 media outlets worldwide, including major international news broadcasters and TV stations. Reuters stated that the video had been approved by CCTV, and other authorized media outlets had also edited related footage. However, they received a legal notice from CCTV's lawyers, demanding the video's removal. As a result, the video was taken down on September 5th, and a delete order was issued to CCTV's clients. In a letter to Reuters, CCTV's legal chief, He Danning, wrote, The editing of this material clearly distorted the facts and statements contained in the authorized news, and Reuters exceeded the scope allowed by the agreement. However, the letter did not provide specific details. In response, Reuters issued a statement saying they removed the video because they no longer had the rights to distribute the content. Nevertheless, Reuters maintained that the reporting was accurate. We stand by the accuracy of our reporting. We carefully reviewed the published video and found no reason to believe that Reuters' long-standing commitment to accurate and fair reporting has been compromised. The truth about organ harvesting has long been concealed by the CCP. Over the past 2 decades, the international community has issued at least 10 reports confirming this heinous crime. Nina Shea, director of the Center for Religious Freedom at Hudson Institute and a senior fellow, expressed concern about this conversation to the media. She stated that it was deeply troubling, as the 2 leaders were creating a dystopian nightmare by forcibly harvesting the organs of their political enemies. The exposure of the 20-second chilling conversation has revealed one of the darkest and most shameless traits on this planet. On September 20, 2024, Malaysia's 17th king, Sultan Ibrahim, visited China and met with Xi Jinping. During the meeting, Sultan Ibrahim personally thanked the CCP for special arrangements that allowed his son to receive a liver transplant in China. Some analysts believe that the media coverage might only be the tip of the iceberg. In recent years, behind China's global promotion of the Health Silk Road and the community with a shared future for mankind foreign policies, there has actually been a dark undercurrent of organ diplomacy. The recent comments by Putin at such an event, discussing organ transplants, living younger, and immortality, are seen as strong evidence of this practice. In addition to using organ transplants as diplomatic gifts or bargaining chips, China's organ industry has also served the CCP's elite. In 2019, the 981 Health Project for CCP leaders was exposed by a WeChat ad. The project claimed to extend the longevity of CCP leaders to 150 years and emphasized its significant results over the past 60 years. This notorious project is also referred to as Project 150. Led by military medical institutions like the 301 Hospital and the Military Medical Academy, the project integrates advanced methods such as regenerative medicine, gene therapy, and anti-aging technologies to create a medical longevity system specifically for the CCP elite. However, once this news spread, it was quickly deleted, and it is no longer available on the internet in China. The backlash over the 20-second conversation has not only caused waves within the global Chinese community, but also turned the Beijing military parade, which was originally meant to showcase China's power, into a symbol of humiliation, provoking strong reactions from political leaders worldwide. Michael Pezzullo, former Australian Secretary for Home Affairs, stated after watching the military parade that the rise of CCP China under Xi Jinping bears eerie similarities to the rise of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. This former senior national security official expressed deep concern about Xi Jinping's comments on the world's choice between peace and war. He said, "What he's really saying is, if you don't stand in my way, there will be peace, but if you do stand in my way, there will be war." Pazuello pointed out that the propaganda footage from the CCP's military parade closely resembles Nazi German propaganda films from the mid-1930s. The first time this kind of goose-stepping parade displaying military might was 90 years ago, captured memorably in a propaganda film by Leni Riefenstahl. Commentator Chen Yu remarked that the CCP has been keeping a terrible secret, and that's to do with Chinese people's organs. In democratic Western countries, or anywhere in the world, human organs cannot become commodities. Even the most powerful figures cannot easily obtain organs from living people. However, it was reported that the conversation between Xi Jinping and Putin had sent the most terrifying advertisement to the world, highlighting that in China, with a population of 1 billion human minds, there's a fully developed one-stop service. This ad has actually aired in China long ago, promoting the CCP's Project 150, using children's blood and young people's organs to extend the lives of CCP leaders to 150 years. Indeed, this has been an irresistible appeal for aging billionaires and political figures. Some religious leaders and high-ranking officials may support the CCP, not because they agree with the party, but because they cannot resist the allure of living to 150 years. Now, as several dictators openly market this idea, with the CCP publicly promoting this business to the world, potential clients should note that the CCP's ultimate weapon is already failing. This is because, over the past 2 decades, China's ecological environment has been severely damaged by the CCP. People in China have to breathe toxic air, drink polluted water, and consume highly carcinogenic food. While they have developed strong immunity, their organs can only be used by themselves, not for transplant. From a medical perspective, the vast majority of Chinese people have been exposed to toxic and harmful substances from birth, making their immune system strong, but this causes wear and tear on their organs, shortening their lifespan. If transplanted, the strong immune systems will cause the recipient's immune system to collapse, triggering fatal rejection. Even if the donor is deceived or forced to take immunosuppressants, the long-term stress and accumulated toxins in the organs cannot be solved by medications. Some heavy metals in damaged organs will never be eliminated. That's why there are still many high-ranking CCP officials who can live to nearly 100 years old. They received organ replacements when the organs were still in good condition. Now, however, the organs are used up, and while the CCP has promoted this system globally, the organs are no longer viable because they don't specifically select people who have high-quality diets for organ donation. As a result, in recent years, we have not seen the lifespans of CCP leaders increase, and some officials who have had more organ replacements are dying younger. Project 150 is a failure. Chinese commentator Chen Yu stated that the military equipment showcased during the 93rd parade should be viewed as a joke. Even the most advanced military equipment requires qualified personnel to operate it, and the spirit of sacrifice to win wars. Yu analyzed Chinese soldiers will eventually realize that they are also human minds in Project 150. At that point, the CCP's weapons may be used by the enraged human minds army to deal with the leadership who will never live to 150. However, it's worth noting that the CCP is now promoting this terrifying live organ harvest trade worldwide, so people should not think that this is just a disaster for the Chinese.